In June 2018, La Malbaie, Quebec, hosted the G7 summit, but the mood was anything but festive. The world's eyes were on Donald Trump, whose presidency had unsettled global alliances. Tensions ran high as talk of tariffs and trade wars overshadowed the agenda. For Canadians, this was personal. Our jobs, industries, and relationship with our closest ally were at stake. The usual diplomatic calm was cracking under a new, combative style of politics. As leaders arrived, so did ordinary Canadians, teachers, farmers, workers, drawn by a sense of duty. They weren't there to disrupt, but to witness and stand up for values like respect and cooperation. The summit was locked down, but outside, citizens gathered with quiet determination. They knew history isn't just made by leaders in closed rooms, but by people who refuse to sit on the sidelines. This wasn't just a political event, it was a test of national character. Canadians felt the weight of defending principles we often take for granted. The world order built on trust and partnership seemed fragile. In that moment, Canadians chose to show up, not with anger, but with resolve. The G7 in Quebec became a defining moment, a quiet stand in a noisy world. It was a reminder, when the storm comes, Canadians don't hide, they show up. The protests outside La Malbaie were unmistakably Canadian, peaceful, creative, and principled. Handmade signs spoke volumes: "We build bridges, not walls. Free trade, not free hate." These weren't just slogans, they were thoughtful arguments reflecting a deep understanding of the stakes. Protesters weren't anti-American, they were pro-connection, pro-reason, and pro-compassion. Families turned the protest into a civics lesson, each member holding a sign. "Facts matter, kindness is everything," and a child's drawing of earth in a heart. A retired firefighter's sign, "Respect is a two-way street," recalled bonds forged in crisis. The creativity was endless. Hockey sticks became signposts. "Keep your stick on the ice and your tariffs off our steel." Humor and culture blended with serious purpose. These signs became a national conversation, a reflection of Canadian values under pressure. Protesters defended ideals they hoped to pass on: reason, compassion, and shared humanity. The message was clear: when pushed, Canadians respond with principle, not anger. The protest was a statement: we stand for unity, not division. Even in disagreement, Canadians chose civility. The cardboard signs told the world, our values are not negotiable. In a time of uncertainty, Canadians found their voice, polite but firm. The protest was a mirror, showing a country determined to stay true to itself. The message in Quebec was clear. This wasn't anti-American, but anti-authoritarian. Protesters drew a line between people and politics. We love our American neighbors, but we dislike bullies. Stories of cross-border friendships and shared history filled the air. Many Canadians saw their protest as solidarity with Americans who also felt alienated by divisive leadership. Signs like "Dissent is patriotic" underscored a commitment to democratic values. The protest was for ideas, not against people. This distinction kept the movement principled, avoiding cheap nationalism. Canadians rejected zero-sum thinking, advocating for partnership and shared values. Flags weren't burned, they were waved together. The message: our friendship is stronger than political turmoil. We are neighbors, standing up for the principles that make our communities safe and decent. In Quebec, Canadians showed that disagreement doesn't mean enmity, it means caring enough to speak up. In the midst of the storm stood Prime Minister Mark Carney, calm, principled, and unflappable. While President Trump fired off insults, Carney stayed focused on facts and shared interests. When called very dishonest and weak, Carney didn't take the bait. At his press conference, he simply stated, "Canadians are polite, we're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around." That line echoed across the country, rallying Canadians. Carney's refusal to engage in mudslinging made Canadians proud. He embodied strength without aggression, confidence without arrogance. His respect for the office, even in disagreement, reinforced the protesters' message. This was about principles, not personalities. Carney's calm was a strategic asset, giving Canada the moral high ground. While others raged, Canada appeared stable and sane. His quiet resolve showed that true strength lies in conviction, not volume. Carney helped a nation keep its cool and its dignity. In a noisy world, he proved that leadership can be both strong and steady. The G7 drama quickly turned into economic reality. U.S. tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum hit hard. Canada retaliated. Suddenly, trade talk was everywhere, from grocery aisles to backyard barbecues. In steel towns, livelihoods were threatened. Anxiety spread. Prices crept up on everyday items: ketchup, bourbon, orange juice, symbols of a new economic conflict. The border, once a symbol of friendship, became a line of contention. Trust, built over generations, felt shaken. Canadians worried about more than prices. They feared for the future of our most important trading relationship. The unpredictability created a sense of vulnerability. Would the auto sector be next? Uncertainty loomed. The trade war wasn't just a headline, it was a test of national resolve. But instead of panic, Canadians found unity. The shared threat forged common purpose. Canadians understood this was about more than money, it was about who we are. Together we chose determination over despair. Faced with a trade war, Canadians responded with economic patriotism. A grassroots movement swept the country. Millions chose to buy Canadian. People checked labels, picked local products, and shared their finds online with #BuyCanadian. It was a quiet act of defiance, a way to support workers and industries under threat. Farmers markets and local businesses thrived. The movement wasn't about anger, it was about pride and solidarity. Canadians discovered new local favorites, strengthening communities. Economic patriotism turned a negative, tariffs, into a positive, renewed appreciation for Canadian quality. The message was clear. We're not passive consumers, but citizens who use our wallets to express our values. The world saw Canadians standing together, refusing to be intimidated. In supermarkets and hardware stores, a quiet rebellion took shape. It was a powerful statement of national character. Canadians showed unity isn't just political, it's practical too. In tough times, we support our own. The events of 2018 echoed history, reminding Canadians of the dangers of nationalism and trade wars in the 1930s. We remembered how turning inward once led to disaster. The protests and government's stand weren't just about tariffs. They were about defending the post-war order built for peace. Attacks on institutions like the G7 and UN felt like attacks on the architecture of stability. Canadians felt a duty to defend these values. Our response was shaped by history, a conscious choice to meet division with unity and reason. By standing firm, Canada defended not just its interests but the principles of democracy and cooperation. We remembered our history and refused to let its lessons be forgotten. The G7 summit and trade war became a moment of national self-definition. Canada's strength wasn't in might, but in unity, decency, and belief in a better way. Our quiet rebellion was a powerful roar. Retired teachers with signs, a prime minister's calm, a shopper's choice. These acts wove a tapestry of resilience. We proved you don't have to be loud to be strong. True strength is standing by your principles, even when it's hard. The events of 2018 reaffirmed what it means to be Canadian: active, principled, and compassionate. We build bridges, not walls, believe in free trade, not free hate, and know respect is a two-way street. These aren't just slogans, they're our foundation. Canada stood tall, not by shouting but by speaking clearly and acting with resolve. The world watched as we showed that a middle power can have a powerful voice. In an anxious, divided age, Canada's answer was simple: be yourself, bravely. The true North, strong and free, showed its character, and it was worth celebrating.